Hey guys, it's Abby, and in today's video I'm coming to you from the Love Sack, and it's actually my first storytime video, and it's my apartment scam story that just happened to me. So if you're in the process of looking for an apartment, then I highly recommend you watch this video so that you can avoid a scam in case someone is trying to scam you out of your money. And also if you're just interested in hearing about how I was in an apartment scam, then just keep on watching. So yeah, let's just get right on into the story time. So I had just graduated college and I was looking for an apartment that was closer to where I worked. And my boyfriend's aunt had been texting about different places because she was really excited for me, and she'd been sending me various listings. And she sent me a Craigslist listing and it was super, super cute. I looked at it. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment and everything about it looked beautiful, and I was very interested. And I showed my boyfriend and he was like, he's like, it's coming from Craigslist. That looks a little bit sketchy. You should just make sure everything checks out before you proceed with that. And I was like, you know what, you're right, that makes sense. So I googled the address and I actually found out that it was a house for sale online as well as an apartment, and it seemed like the person was either trying to sell the house or rent the apartment, either one. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Maybe she'll do like a rent to buy type of thing, which I was interested in. And I was like, that looks cool. So I reached out to the lister on Craigslist and they emailed me back. Well, they messaged me back and said, could you send me your email so that I could give you more information? And I was like, great. So she sent me more information and everything seemed great. You could have dogs, cats, there was pets, whatever. And everything about the apartment was beautiful. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. There was a garage. It was this cute little house. It was built in 2018, so it was brand new. Like, everything about it seemed great. And she was renting it for $1,300. I actually think it was $1,350. So it was just on the cusp of being too good to be true, but also realistic. So I was like, okay, like, I'm interested. So I was like, I reached out to her by email. Her name was Denise Ann Hart. So if you're trying to get an apartment and someone named Denise Ann Hart is messaging you, she might be a scam artist. Denise Ann Hart, I'm watching you. But so I reached out to her and said, hey Denise, like, I'd love to schedule a showing. And she was like, I'm actually not doing showings right now due to COVID-19, but if you want, you could drive by the house, and if you're still interested, let's keep on talking. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, I could understand why you're not doing showings right now. I mean, I wouldn't want 20 people walking through an apartment that I was about to rent and, then having a renter not want to rent it because so many people have been through it during this pandemic. So I was like, that makes sense. So I was like, okay, so I drove by the house that night and it was ideal. Like, everything about it was a girl's dream. It was so cute, so perfect. It was great. It was in a beautiful neighborhood. Like, everything about it was just perfect. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I really want this place. So I emailed her again and was like, Denise, I drove by it. I'm definitely still interested. Could you send over an application? So she emails over this application, and I noticed that there was one interesting thing on it. So it didn't ask for my social security number, which most apartment applications that I filled out have asked for that. So I was like, that's a little bit interesting, but I was like, okay, like, maybe she just doesn't have the capacity to run a background check. So I filled it out and I sent it back to her, and she emailed me back and she asked me a few questions, and I actually emailed her back and asked her some questions, and we had this conversation going. So I emailed her and I was like, Denise, I'm really interested. Could you send over a lease agreement that I could look over? So she emails over this lease agreement, and when she emailed it, she also texted me. She started texting me at that time, and she was like, please look over the lease agreement and Venmo my significant other the security deposit. And the security deposit was $1,250. So basically she wanted me to sign the lease and just send her over the money through Venmo. And I was like, that seems a little bit interesting. So I was like, like, what to do? So I texted my boyfriend's aunt and I was like, hey, do you have any advice? What should I do in this situation? And she was like, do not send her any money without meeting her. She's like, it is not an unreasonable request to ask to meet your landlord before you send them over the security deposit, which totals $1,250. She was like, you need to meet her first. So she said, ask her just to meet in person. You can maintain social distancing 6 feet. You can give her the lease, you can Venmo her the money at the time, get the keys, and agree not to move in until June. And I was like, great, that sounds like a good idea. So I emailed her back and asked her those things. And before, she was saying she couldn't meet because of COVID, and then she started saying she couldn't meet because she wasn't in the area. And it was just kind of interesting, and it just didn't seem quite right. And she refused to meet me, like, absolute downright, I can't meet you. She couldn't do it. So I reached out back to my boyfriend's aunt and was like, what should I do? And she was like, don't send her any money. She's like, here's what we're gonna do. You should reach out to the person who is the realtor who is listing the house online and just make sure everything checks out. Because if she's real, you know, they would know it and everything would work, and then you could probably proceed. But if she's not real, that'll definitely tell you. So I reached out to the realtor, sent them an email, and was just like, hey, I'm in the process of trying to rent this apartment. This is the address. This is the person who listed it, and I'm just wanted to know, make sure she's real or not, because I can't meet with her due to COVID-19. Please confirm that she is the owner. And they were like, this person is not real. This house is not for rent. It's only for sale. It's a scam. Do not send her any money. And I was like, okay, like that's a huge bummer because I absolutely loved the place, but it was a great thing because I didn't lose $1,250. And so I was really bummed, but also happy that I didn't lose my money. And I actually reached out to the police department too in the town just to let them know. And they actually ended up calling me because I just sent them an email because it wasn't an emergency, so I didn't want to call them, but they emailed me back. No, they didn't email me back, sorry. So they called me back and they were like, hey, like, could you give us some more information? Tell us more about it. So I told them about it. They were like, this person is probably overseas because they're sending you messages in like the middle of the night, 3 in the morning. So they said they're probably overseas. Don't send them any money, like I already knew. And please report the listing on Craigslist. We can't do too much about it, but just do that and whatever. So that was good. And I reported the listing on Craigslist. But then Denise kept messaging me. She messaged me the next night and she actually started trying to bully me into renting the apartment from her. I'll read one of the messages because I'd asked her then, my boyfriend's dad was like, you should keep playing with her. So like ask her to do a Zoom, you know, walkthrough of the house. So I asked her to do a Zoom walkthrough of the house and this is what she sent me back. She said, you really don't seem to get my point. Did you read the part of my message where I said I'm not currently in the area? She sent that at 2:31 and then at 3:09 she sent, hi, I believe I mentioned that I'm not in the area, so I won't be able to meet with you, and I also do not have anyone local that could show you the inside of the house, which is why you're only expected to pay the deposit to secure the place and then pay first month's rent a week later after you have received the house keys and moved in. Please let me know what you decide to do. So she tries to bully me into it a little bit, and then she gets a little nicer at about 3:09 a.m. and I was like, Denise, you ain't real. So I actually ended up playing with her for a couple days, messed with her since she messed with me and wasted my time. And then I was like, Denise, I know you're a scam. I know you're fake. Stop trying to scam people. It's not cool. So anyhow, that was my apartment scam story and how I almost lost $1,250. So if you guys are looking for apartments and there's anything that seems even a little bit sketchy, do not send the person money until you meet with them in person and have confirmed that everything is real, because I actually heard from the person that I ended up renting an apartment from, someone different, that a lot of scams are going on right now due to everything going on in the world, like with the pandemic. So definitely be very careful if you're looking for an apartment. Happy ending is I did find a really great place, so I'm excited to move in there. I move in August and I will be sharing a lot of apartment videos if you guys want to see them. Let me know in the comments below. I kind of want to do like a move-in. I want to do like an apartment tour, apartment haul, like stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in those types of videos, let me know in the comments, because right now I mostly do makeup, but I would totally be interested in filming those for you guys. And if you want to hear more story times, also let me know in the comments below, because I have a few up my sleeve. That was kind of dorky. I shouldn't have done that. But I do have a few interesting stories that I could tell you guys if you wanted to know them. So just let me know. And as for right now though, I'm going to go to bed. I really appreciate you guys. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe and do all those beautiful things that make my heart happy. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Who wants to hear how I almost lost $1,250? Hey guys, it's Abby, and she sent me this listing from Craigslist. That was the dumbest joke. Like I was trying to be like stories up my sleeve, but it was stupid. So I'll probably cut that out, and if I don't, you get to enjoy my dorkiness.